Over the years, the Thomas Harrison Middle School Theater Department has never been one to shy away from technically challenging shows. Whether it was a 40-foot-long dragon in The Hobbit, a pond in Honk Jr., or the ability to defy gravity in Willy Wonka Jr., we've always had a knack of creating some impressive on-stage magic. So it wasn't surprising that the spring 2016 production of The Little Mermaid Jr. would of course provide its own set of unique challenges. Based on both the 1989 Disney movie and the 2008 Broadway musical, the THMS production was tasked with creating the worlds both above and below the sea, and also recreating some of the story's most memorable moments.
So, how did the production of The Little Mermaid Jr. pull off such a technically challenging show in such a confining space? Join me, Mr. Strotterman, as we take a look behind the scenes at some of the show's technical effects.
The script for The Little Mermaid Jr. called for a number of different settings to appear throughout the show. Ariel's grotto, a beach, Prince Eric's castle, a lagoon, Ursula's lair, a sailing ship, just to name a few.
As set designer for the production, I knew early on that neither the on-stage nor the off-stage areas of the forum could support all of the show's different locales. So I struck upon an idea. Last summer I had a chance to see a couple of shows during a trip to New York City, and one of the shows that I saw while I was there was An American in Paris. The set designer, Bob Crowley, used projections to create the ever-changing backdrops for the show's various settings. What was even cooler is that many of these projections were animated, making the experience almost like watching a live movie on stage. So I enlisted the help of Joe Henshaw, a faculty member for JMU's School of Media Arts and Design, to do the same for our production of The Little Mermaid Jr.
Using stock footage, Mr. Henshaw was able to create a number of beautifully animated backdrops needed to represent the various settings, and, in the process, reduce the number of physical set pieces that needed to be built for the show. At the end of Act 1, when Ariel strikes a deal with Ursula to become human, the script called for her magical transformation to occur on stage in full view of the audience. Not knowing how to make that moment happen without it looking really amateurish, I asked Mr. Henshaw if he might be able to create a projection to accomplish this effect.
The Ariel Transformation scene actually has three parts to it. That there's her mermaid tail, the upper torso, and then the legs. And so I animated each one separately, composited them together against the underwater background, and so as she swims up toward the surface, it appears that she actually sheds her tail to become a human.
One of the biggest technical challenges occurred at the end of the show, when Ursula seizes control of King Triton's trident and grows enormous in size. Once again, Mr. Henshaw saved the day. About a month before the show opened, several cast members spent the day at JMU's broadcast facilities to film this challenging scene in front of a green screen. Green screening is a technique that is commonly used in movies that involve lots of special effects. By filming an actor in front of a green background, an editor can digitally remove this background in post-production and replace it with a totally different background, in this case, the surface of the ocean. What made filming this scene even more challenging was that it had to not only be carefully timed to coordinate with the scene's background music, but Ursula's lines also had to be delivered to the exact on-stage location of each actor so that it would appear that she was talking directly to each of them. So, after countless rehearsals to fine-tune the scene's timing, our actress got into costume and makeup, and the cameras began rolling.
You there! What's this? A human ship? Ha! Who are you, and what have you done with Ariel? Careful, Princey Pooh. The water's looking awfully choppy. Not anymore. Ha! You fool! So fast, Guppy! Get the shell! Stop there!
Not all of the effects in Little Mermaid could be solved by technology, however. Some still had to rely on good old-fashioned mechanical and structural ingenuity. During the song Kiss the Girl, Prince Eric and Ariel have to take a romantic boat ride across a lagoon. So, the ingenious mind of parent Brent McNett was tasked with pulling off the effect of a boat gliding across the surface of the stage without any help. He installed a track system in his new stage extension that allowed the boat to be easily attached to a pulley system that was rigged up underneath the floor. Prior to the scene, stagehands Gretchen and Corinne would descend below the stage through a specially built trap door and make their way to the boat's pulley system. With the help of a television monitor, they could watch the scene as it occurred on stage and control the boat's movements by pulling on the ropes attached to the pulley. For King Triton's destruction of Ariel's grotto, parent Joel Yoder devised a variety of levers behind the grotto's facade that, when activated by members of the tech crew, would trigger Ariel's collection of human treasures to tumble to the stage floor.
So this rod is connected to a panel which pushes over the plate and the cup, and this string, which I pull, flips over the clock, which also flips over the bottle, so everything falls.
When this is pushed, it knocks over the teapot and the cup. This closes the suitcase, this one closes the small box, and this one knocks over the ukulele.
Coupled with a well-timed sound effect, the onstage effect is quite convincing. While the actors in a theatrical production are usually the ones who receive most of the accolades and acknowledgement, there's no doubt that the creativity and hard work of unsung artists behind the scenes is equally important in ensuring the success of a production.